Hi, my name's James and this is Josh, and we're going to take you through a body weight session that you can do at home, anywhere you've got some space. The only piece of equipment you're going to be using is a chair, but you could use a bed or a sofa or anything sturdy that can hold your weight. Okay, let's get started with the warm-up. Josh, if you can get down on all fours for me, we're going to start with some bird dogs. So go knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders, and then we're going to extend back, opposite arm, opposite leg. And the key things we're looking to do is trying to avoid any twisting or rotating. Hips and shoulders stay square to the floor, and the back is nice and flat and still. So we're thinking about moving the leg from the hip and not the back. Lovely stuff. So we'll say this one, easy to do, but it's hard to do perfectly. But Josh is doing a great job from there. Okay, lovely stuff. Next up, if we move on to some fire hydrants, so staying in that position, and then we're going to rotate one leg out to the side. And we're going to do 8 of these on each leg. Lovely stuff. So here we're trying to activate the glutes, the glute medius, so we should be feeling the work in the side of the hip, sort of the top of the bum area. Key things to think about, keeping the hips facing down and not rotating them out to the side at the bottom. It looks good. Okay, so as soon as you're on 8 reps, let's swap legs. Very nice, great form, Josh, good job. Okay, as soon as we finish this one, we're going to roll over onto your back and we're going to go into some glute bridges. So again, another activation exercise, this time trying to wake up the glutes, this time the glute max. So Josh is going to push down through his heels, he's going to push the hips up and squeeze the glutes, so squeeze his bum at the top. Nice long pause and then down, great job. And again, the idea here is we're trying to wake up the glutes, so it should be a big, powerful hip extensor. And they tend to get a bit lazy, so we're just trying to wake them up at the start of the session so they're primed and ready to go. Okay, lovely stuff. Next up, if we want to get into a press-up position, and we're going to do, so it's from downward dogs, okay? So from a press-up position, and then you're going to push the hips up as high as you can. Relax those heels down towards the floor, lovely stuff. Little pause in the top position and down, great job, nice tempo. And what we're looking to do here is to try and keep the knees straight, the back as flat as possible. Think about pushing the head away from the hands, relaxing the heels down towards the floor. And we're looking to get a big stretch along the back of the leg. So hopefully Josh is feeling a bit of a stretch in the calves in the top position. Lovely job. Okay, fantastic. If we take that straight into some groiners, so we're going to go one leg up nice and high outside the hand, and then reach up as high as you can overhead, same arm, same leg. Good job. And then change sides, lovely stuff. So this one we're kind of stretching and mobilizing across multiple areas. So the hip flexor as you reach forward, and then some thoracic rotation at the top. Lovely stuff, good job. Okay, well done. Let's go to some adductor rock backs next. So Josh is going to plant one knee down and the other leg is going to come out very wide and straight. And the wider he goes, the bigger the stretch is going to be. Hands are going to go way out in front. And then from here, he's going to rock his hips backwards, trying to keep his back as flat as he can. He should get a big stretch up the inside of the thigh as he goes. Pause there and then rock forward to take it off. Lovely job. And when we come forward, we should get a little stretch in the front of the hip of the bent leg. Great job, Josh, looking good. And as I said, the wider the stance here, the bigger the stretch is going to be. So if it doesn't feel like a big stretch as you go back, you can push that straight leg a bit wider. Okay, one more and then it's change sides. Okay, change sides there. So the other thing to consider is keeping that leg very straight and not letting the knee fall in or bend. But this is great. And also trying not to round the back as you go back. So Josh is doing a really good job of keeping his back nice and flat as he sits the hips backwards. Okay, well done. Let's go up on your feet next and into some overhead squats. You can go arms up overhead. Lovely job. Feet shoulder width apart. Squat down nice and deep. Knees over the toes. Lovely stuff. Very nice. So try and keep the feet flat on the floor. Josh is doing an excellent job of keeping his arms up overhead and not letting them fall forward. Great stuff. Let's go into some hip hinges next. So narrow the feet, hips width apart, little bend in the knees, hands across the shoulders. And he's going to push the hips back, keeping the chest up and the back flat. Great job. And you may feel a little stretch in the hamstrings as you go down in the back of the thigh. If you look at Josh's back position here, it's perfectly flat and straight. We're not getting any rounding going on. Good job. Okay, let's go for some split squats next, Josh. So we're going to get set up in a nice long stance, hips facing forward, back foot on the ball of the foot. That's it. And he's going to bend that back knee down towards the floor. He's going to push through the front leg and stand up. And you want to think about the front leg as the one doing all of the work. Good job. Josh, if you would do another swap legs, if you just face this way, that's it, just so we can see where it's going. Good job. So again, front leg does all of the work, and we're focusing on the hips dropping straight down and not forwards and down. And that way we're spreading the load across the quad and the hip. There we go. Okay, lovely stuff. Let's go for some lateral squats next. So feet very wide, toes pointed forward, and Josh is going to sit his hips down towards one heel, push back to the middle, and then down to the other side. Lovely stuff. So essentially he's trying to get as low as he can comfortably go while keeping both feet flat on the floor. Josh has got an excellent range on this one, so don't worry if you're not quite getting as low as that. Good stuff. Okay, lovely job. Right, last one in the warm-up. Let's do some single leg Romanian deadlifts. So a tricky one to stabilize this one, so don't worry if you wobble around. You're going to go a little bend in the knee, and then we're going to reach out in front and try and hit this nice long position. Very nice, good stuff. So trying to hit a nice straight line from the hands through to the back foot. Great job, lovely stuff. Making sure you keep that little bend in the knee of the planted leg. Fantastic, good work. Change sides there, Josh, that's fine. You got one good leg and one bad one? Good stuff, well done, very nice. So Josh is in an excellent position here. You can see the hips and the back foot pointed straight down in the extended position. Well done, Josh, fantastic. Okay, let's go into our main exercises now. So the first one we're going to use this chair for, and what we're going to do is a single leg squat down to the box. Now obviously this is quite a low chair, so this could be quite challenging, but you can work to whatever range works for you. So the box basically helps us to sit back and down and helps us to regulate the depth, so we're hitting a consistent depth every time. Okay, let's go for it, Josh. So if we go, the first one's just tapping the box, so feet flat on the floor, and he's going to go down, he's going to sit back, tap the box, stand up, good man. Okay, so this one working the quads and the glutes. He's going to do 10 reps. If we do 5 of the harder ones, Josh, and then 5 of the easier ones where you sit right down. So essentially you're just going to try and just tap the box and keep tension on the muscles the whole time. Very nice. Do 5 of those and then go 5 where you sit right down. This is just going to do the slightly easier one now, where you sit right back and rock forward and stand up. So if the first one we showed you was too hard, you can try this one instead. And we're going to work on 10 reps on each leg, but feel free to adjust that as you go. So if 10 reps feels hard, you can do slightly less. It's all about doing as many perfect ones as you can. Very nice. Okay, great job. When you're ready, swap legs. Yeah, lovely stuff, Josh, looking good. So again, if we do 5 of the harder ones, 5 of the easier ones, looking good. Key things to remember, keeping that foot flat on the floor. We don't want it to roll to the ball of the foot. Keeping constant contact through the ball of the foot and the heel. Very nice. Again, we've stitched Josh up a bit here with quite a low chair, but he's doing a great job. Very nice, well done. In terms of the tempo, Josh is doing a great job here. Nice and slow on the way down, a little bit faster on the way up. Very nice and controlled. Okay, well done, great stuff. Then we're going to move straight into some press-ups. So if we go with a regular press-up at first, if you want to get into position, Josh. So Josh's elbows are going to be tucked in this sort of like A shape rather than flared out to the side. Again, we're going to do 10 reps. He's got this nice straight line from the head through to the heels, slowly down, push up. Great stuff, very nice. And we're going to do, as I say, 10 controlled reps, but feel free to adjust that for whatever is good for you. On the second set, we'll show you a slightly easier version with the hands elevated. We're looking good. Key things to look out for, make sure you're avoiding the hips sagging down. Again, Josh is in a lovely position here. Great range. Very nice. Okay, next one in this sequence is a dead bug. So Josh, if you can roll onto your back for me. And we'll do the first one as a standard dead bug, right? So, in fact, we do first one legs only, Josh. So key thing here is that the lower back is pushed into the floor, the core muscles are engaged, and he's going to lower one leg down at a time. And we should feel the work here through the abs, okay? So the challenge is to keep that lower back pushed into the floor, so there's never any space between your back and the floor. And we're going to do 10 reps on each leg. On the second set, we're going to show you a slightly more challenging version. Looks great, very nice. Feel the work through the core muscles? Yeah, lovely stuff. And we can see Josh is doing a great job of keeping his lower back pushed into the floor. If you feel your lower back coming off the floor or arching at any stage, what you can do is to kick the legs up slightly higher. Josh, can you show them one like that, where the legs go a bit higher up? That's it. And it's going to be considerably easier. So essentially, the lower down they go, the harder it's going to be. Very nice. Yeah, looking good, my man, looking good. Great stuff. Okay, well done. When we're ready, let's roll into a second set of those. So starting off with a single leg squat. This time, if we show them a version without the box, right? So if you don't have a suitable chair, we can just do a single leg squat just in the air essentially, okay? So we're just going to go down to a range that's comfortable. Okay, whenever you're ready. Yeah, very nice. Other things to consider here are sort of keeping the knee lined up with the toe. So what you'll often see is the knee sort of collapsing inwards. We want to keep it lined up with the toe throughout. So hips, knees and ankles are all in a nice alignment. Very nice. Not getting too tired, Josh? Looking good, looking good. Lovely stuff. So this is primarily sort of a strength session, but we do have a conditioning element in that we're just rolling through these exercises with little gaps in between, so the heart rate's going to stay elevated throughout. Very nice. Just 10 of those on each leg. It's perfectly normal to find one leg feels much easier than the other, and if that's the case, I'd always start with the leg that feels weaker and then match the reps on the stronger side, even if it feels easy. So you're working to the level of the weaker side. Looking good, Josh, looking good. Great job. Okay, for this next set of press-ups, we're going to show you a slightly easier version. So if you find press-ups on the floor hard, what you can do is what we call an incline press-up, where we're doing press-ups with our hands elevated on something, and the higher the object you go, the easier it's going to be. I'm going to brace against this bench because we're just not sure if it might slide on this floor, but you can prop it up against a wall or a solid object. Okay, whenever you're ready, Josh. So you're going to again keep that nice straight line from head through to the heels. Great control down, lovely stuff. So again, we're going to go 10 reps, but you work with whatever you can. So if 6 reps is tough, it's fine to stop at 6. It's all about doing as many perfect ones as you can. Good man. Okay, great stuff. Getting tired? Okay, let's go into the dead bugs. And if we show them the hands and legs version this time, so if the previous version feels quite comfortable and you can keep that lower back pressed firmly into the floor throughout, then we can do the arms and legs version. So let's just go literally the ones with the arms up in the air, just dropping them down towards the floor. So now what we're doing is basically opposite arm, opposite leg, dropping down towards the floor, which just makes it slightly more challenging because again our core muscles are working as a unit to keep that lower back pressed down and stopping any excessive arching, which Josh is doing a great job of at the moment. Very nice. Lovely stuff. So again, working at a rep range that feels comfortable for you. So if you get to the point where you can no longer keep that lower back pressed into the floor, then we can just stop at that point. Great stuff. Good stuff. Well done, Josh. You want a quick drink? Okay, good man. Right, let's move on to our next exercises. We're going to start, I think we can probably move this one out of the way for a moment. We're going to start with a lateral lunge, okay? So you're going to take that nice big step out, drive off this leg and then back to the top. Okay, let's go 8 reps on each leg whenever you're ready. So a little bit like the lateral squat we did in the warm-up, this time the more dynamic version. So he's going to take that big step out, nice controlled descent and then drive back up to the start position. Again, working the quads and the glutes on that leg. Important things to remember, the other leg stays nice and straight. We don't let that knee collapse in at any stage. Beautiful job, looking good. Very nice. Drive up fast out of that bottom position, so controlled descent, drive up, lovely stuff. Great job, Josh. Okay, from there we're going to go into an inchworm walkout. Okay, so he's going to walk his hands out, and this is a challenging exercise for the upper body and the core muscles. And essentially, the further we walk the hands out, the harder it's going to be. That's it. And then walk them back in. There we go. And that'll be 1 rep. Lovely stuff. So we're going to do 8 of these. And again, we want to feel the work through the abs, through the arms and shoulders, but nothing in the back. You can see Josh's back position there is fantastic in that he has this slight round to the back the whole time. What we don't want to see is any arching in the back at any stage. So essentially you're just going to walk the hands out as far as is comfortable for you. So if you feel everything go into the back at any stage, you would just not quite walk the hands out so far the next time. Lovely stuff, Josh, looking good. Brilliant work. Very nice. How many is that? 1 more? Good man, well done, well done. Great stuff. Okay, last one in this sequence we're going to do is a side plank with a hip abduction. So Josh, if you get into like this side plank from the knee position, so you're going to bridge that bottom knee, bend that bottom knee to 90 degrees and then bridge up on the elbow, that's it. Important things to make sure here is that the hips are facing completely side on. He's going to angle this foot ever so slightly down towards the floor, that's it. And then he's going to do this big abduction movement from there, there we go. And you should feel all the work in the side of the hip. Lovely stuff, that's it. Good man. Josh's hand position is great here, so we either want to be on the hip like this or up in the air, both are good options. And we just want to make sure that we're never pointing that foot up towards the ceiling. So if we're getting it in the hip, you're doing it right. If you're getting it down the thigh, chances are you've started to point your toes up towards the ceiling and you end up using the quad too much. Very nice. Now as soon as you switch sides, it's immediately going to feel a little bit harder. right? Because the bottom side has still been working to hold that bridge position. That's good. Yeah, lovely stuff. Doing well, Josh, doing well. All in the outside of the hip. Good man. Good man, good job. Okay, what we'll do next, we'll move on to our next exercises. We'll just do one set of those, but if you did want to make this session longer, you could do a second round of these exercises. Okay, so on our last exercises, the first one we're going to do is a single leg hip thrust, which is an exercise for the glute and the hamstring, but ideally we want to feel as much work in the glute as possible. Again, I'm going to brace against this because we don't want this one to fall back, but if you have a chair, push back against the wall or a sofa or something solid, the corner of this box or bench here wants to be just under his shoulder blades, okay? And then from there, you're going to go on one leg, push down through the heel, push the hip up and squeeze the glute at the top. It's a surprisingly tough exercise. Josh, we're going to try 10 reps. And again, you want to be feeling all the work in the glute and ideally not too much in the hamstring, in the back of the thigh. Little pause at the top, so this is lovely tempo from Josh, really nice. We want to make sure the pressure never goes towards the ball of the foot, but it stays on the heel throughout. Great work. Okay, as soon as we've done 10 reps, we're going to change sides. So if you find these are too tough, you can literally do the two-legged version. That would also be fine. Push up, big squeeze at the top. Lovely stuff. Brilliant work, Josh. Brilliant work. Tell you what, just quickly, if you didn't have something suitable to use, you could also, Josh, could you just show us a few single leg glute bridges on this one? You could do this one as an alternative, right, which is a bit easier because you don't quite get the same range, but it's a good alternative if you can't do the single leg hip thrust. And just 5 or so reps will do on each side. And this would just be the single leg version of that movement, right, without the seat required. Lovely job, big squeeze of the glute at the top. Okay, brilliant stuff. Okay, next exercise we're going to look at, we can stay on the mat for because we're going to do some tuck-ups. So we're going to start, whenever you're ready, arms up overhead, and then legs outstretched. And then from here, we're going to bring ourselves up and tuck ourselves up into a nice little ball at the top. That's it, very good. And a big reach out, fantastic. Josh is showing us the slightly harder version at the moment where the feet never touch the floor, but if this is too challenging, you can let the feet touch the floor. Again, we should be feeling all the work through the abdominal muscles in this one. Great job. Looking good. Getting tough? Yeah? Making it look easy. Doing well, man, doing well. Very nice, good man. Okay, last exercise in the session, we're going to do a plank with a leg lift off, right? So our core muscles will be a little bit tired already, but we're going to go straight into the next one. So we're going to start off in a plank position from the elbow. And then what you're going to do, Josh, is basically lift the leg up and do a sort of a little abduction movement out to the side. That's it. And then back. That's it. Very nice. Lovely job. So again here, we want to feel all the work through the core muscles, nothing in the back. Key things to look out for are not letting the hips sag down at any stage. Very nice, great control. Also, you can see Josh's hips here are nice and steady and level. Another thing to watch out for is the hips rocking around. Doing well, my man. Just 10 of these on each leg. But again, at home, feel free to adjust. You can do fewer reps, or if this one feels too hard, you can literally just do a plank hold in that position. Okay, fantastic work. Well done. Right guys, that is the end of the first session. We will be back with some more, so keep following along and we're going to change the workouts as we go each time. Thanks again.